Everything sports related. Breaking news, fantasy advice, score updates, weekly thoughts, and more. This is the Sports Juice Network.
What's going on, the Sports Juice Network? We are going to be starting a new podcast series, pretty much same thing as the YouTube channel. I'm going to come to you, I'm going to talk about sports, I'm going to drink on some juice. Now listen, you can't see the juice, but just know I am drinking on it. Alright, so without further ado, this first episode is going to be brought to you by Mr. Antonio Brown. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with Antonio Brown, he was the receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers who recently requested a trade. Now, we all know there's been some ongoing tension, with Antonio Brown and the Steelers organization, pretty much with Ben Roethlisberger and the owner. So, let's just hop right into this thing. Antonio Brown recently went on LeBron James' barbershop show, HBO series, and he talked about, a couple of things that happened towards the end of the season that kind of threw him off a little bit. Excuse me, my voice is kind of raspy today. But he pretty much came out straightforward and said, you know what? I'm tired of Ben Roethlisberger with this owner's mentality. He likes to blame everybody for this. He likes to blame everybody for that. I'm not really about that business. That's pretty much how he, came across. I watched the whole thing. He talked about it. He talked about Ben Roethlisberger throwing the ball to the D-line and criticizing his route running. The thing that stuck out to me that I really didn't care for was probably the Shannon Sharpe comments, okay? Now, if you guys are off of me, you guys know I am a big fan of Shannon Sharpe. There's no doubt about it. He's one of my favorite sports analysts, okay? He pretty much said, he called Shannon Sharpe a square, man. Like he said, he's the biggest joke in sports right now. He comes on TV. He talks about drinking Henny and smoking blacks and stuff like that. Now, keep in mind, Shannon Sharpe's only doing that for the audience, okay? That's how he keeps people's attention. That's how he gets people's attention. Now, the thing that really stuck out to me the most was, out of all those guys in the room, I felt as if LeBron James probably should have said, hey, bro, you just tone it down just a little bit. Because if I'm not mistaken, Shannon Sharpe goes to bat for LeBron James, okay? He's a big LeBron James fan. He goes to bat for LeBron James. You can kind of see in the video that LeBron actually wanted to say something, but he kind of held back just to let Antonio finish what he was going to say. But, at the end of the day, I thought he should have said something, but yada, yada, yada. That's how it happens. That's how it went, okay? Fast forward just a little bit. He also was on ESPN with an SC feature with Jeff Darlington. They sat down in his Miami house where he grew up in Liberty City, and he talked about some of his childhood and some of the things he went through that made him the man who he is today. Okay. Let's see. Watching the interview, it was pretty straightforward. He talked about it. He talked about how the owners and the organization don't see eye to eye. How Mike Tomlin told him to go home after he told him he needs to get his body right and expecting treatment, but Mike Tomlin told him just go home. So he was like, so that's the point we at, It's kind of crazy, A lot of people thought he came off super, super cocky in that video or the interview because he told people he doesn't need football. Football's not a necessity for him. He doesn't want to play anymore, stuff like that. Now, here's what I got from that, okay? I don't think he was cocky. I don't think he was cocky at all. In fact, I think he was telling absolutely the truth about himself. Excuse me again. I'm sorry. Ooh, man, it's the juice. I think he just knows his worth. Sometimes people don't know their worth, and so they say this, they say that, and they may, sound cocky or arrogant or big-headed. I just think Antonio Brown knows his worth. He knows he's one of the best receivers in the game. He knows he has a big contract, okay? He knows he can pretty much play for any team he wants to. So I think he's not cocky. He knows his worth. Recently, well, let me go back to the interview a little bit more, okay? So the interview, he talked about him and Ben Roethlisberger and his relationship off the field. He said that Ben only been to his house one time. He been to Ben's house one time. They don't do off-season workouts like most quarterbacks and receivers do nowadays, which is pretty understandable. I mean, hey, if you're trying to win a championship, you guys are going to meet up into something. You guys are going to run routes. You guys are going to go over plays. I know many of receivers that do it. In fact, Drew Brees of New Orleans Saints, he goes back to San Diego, and all his receivers followed him to San Diego. While he's vacationing with his kids, he still comes out and he throws them footballs, and they go over, certain film studies. I know Russell Wilson loves to take his team to Hawaii to do it. I mean, just some of the small things. Now, as far as Ben Roethlisberger, I honestly think he does have an owner's mentality. I mean, he's come out several times. It's not just with AB. It's with multiple people. He comes out and he says, hey, this guy's running the wrong route. He's making me look bad. This is not what he should be doing. This is not the Steeler way. But yet, he never talks about himself. Ben Roethlisberger is not the best quarterback in the league. It's pretty obvious. Now, is he a good quarterback? Yes, he's a good quarterback, but he's not the best, okay? So I feel as if he's going to dish out his teammates like that, he has to be able to receive it, which he hasn't done ever. For one, I don't think you should come out to the media and say what's going on behind closed doors, or this person should have ran this route, this person should have ran that route. I think you need to go in and say, you know what, it's a team game. We lost as a team. We're going to go back to the locker room. We're going to go back to our practice facility. We're going to assess the things we didn't do well. We're going to come back and we're going to try to do them better. You know what I'm saying? But nah, Mr. Ben Roethlisberger loves to go to the media and talk about his teammates, which if I was a receiver on that team, I would be kind of frustrated too, okay? So the Steelers are in a tough position right now, man. It's either trade Antonio Brown or keep him. You can't keep Antonio Brown. Not with everything that has come out this past couple of weeks. You cannot bring this guy back into that locker room and expect everyone to be happy-go-lucky with him, okay? We got to remember, this is the same locker room that turned on Le'Veon Bell when he chose to sit out due to, contract obligations, okay? The locker room turned on him. They took his stuff out of his locker. It was like he's not part of the team no more. But yet this guy, to me, was trying to do something that was going to, at the end of the day, help the league out and help the players out at the same time. He's trying to show people like, hey, if you're not going to give me a contract I'm worth, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to waste my time and get injured under your franchise tag. That way, if I do get injured, you bring me back the next season under a lower amount because, I tore my ACL. Okay. So you can't bring Antonio Brown back in the locker room. It's fairly obvious. It's not going to happen, okay? They've been working day and night trying to trade this guy. I know several teams was very interested. The 49ers were interested. The Titans were interested, but they recently pulled out. The biggest thing is, it's not Antonio Brown's attitude. It's his contract. I don't think anyone wants to take on that contract. The contract is pretty hefty. These dudes due $12.5 million in a couple more weeks from the Steelers if they don't trade him. He's going to be making, what, 15 mil maybe? I gotta look into that. I believe so. So yeah, they've been working day and night and trying to find somebody. Now, I think the Steelers want a first round pick. They're not going to get a first round pick for Antonio Brown. He's 30 years old. Okay, he has miles on him. He still has a good. His production has been great. He still catches balls. He still gets by people. But it's going to come a point in time when that body starts to slow down just a little bit. And you're going to realize, like, maybe we should have did this. Maybe we should have did that. Okay, so I think the best the Steelers are going to get for him in compensation-wise is either a second or third round pick. Now, a lot of people think the Steelers came out and say, no, we want a first-round pick and we want a player. And every team was like, yeah, see you later, buddy. That's not going to happen, okay? We're not doing that for a 30-year-old receiver who's probably going to give us, at best, 3 more years of his peak, okay? So, like I said, the Steelers pulled out, not the Steelers, the Bills, what is it? The Raiders pulled out. Oh, no, not the Raiders. What am I talking about? Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. They were super, super close to working out a deal with the Buffalo Bills. But yet, Antonio Brown comes in and he tells the Bills and he tells the Steelers organization straight up. He said, listen, I don't want to go to Buffalo. If you trade me to them, I won't play for them. And so Buffalo sees it as if, well, we're not about to give up all of this. And this dude sits out because he doesn't want to play for us. We don't want that. We need a guy who's going to come in his locker room, make Josh Allen better, catch some balls, and go about his business, okay? So they were like, you know what? Forget it. I'm not even worried about it, okay? So they just pulled out maybe 2 days ago. So after they pulled out, everyone's going to speculation saying Antonio Brown, his attitude is jacked up. His attitude slightly is a little bit jacked up. I'm not gonna lie, just a little bit. He knows his work, but I think by knowing his work, he just a little too big-headed. Okay, so after that happens, they pull it out. Antonio Brown goes to Instagram Live. He's working out with a couple a couple friends, a couple trainers, and he said, you know what? You guys stay by your phones. Make sure your alerts are on because I'm going to be announcing this soon. The team I'm going to pretty soon. Antonio Brown making it seem like he a free agent, like he can just go to any team he wants to. That's not how it works, buddy. As much as you hate the Steelers organization, you are still a Steeler until they trade you, buddy boy. Okay, so I mean, I think it's cool that he's doing it, but at the end of the day, he's not a free agent. He can't choose where he wants to go now. He can tell them where he wants to go, but the chance of them trading him to him is very slim. Now, one of his friends in the background before the video cut off did say, look, bro, you already got your black and gray on right now. Now, if we thinking smart and we thinking about it, the only teams that have black and gray is the Oakland Raiders. I can actually see him fitting in with the Oakland Raiders. Derek Carr is a good quarterback. You got Jon Gruden as head coach. Jon Gruden don't put up with prima donnas or guys who got attitude, so that'd be a perfect match for Antonio Brown. They don't have a star receiver. You know, they did trade Amari Cooper to the Dallas Cowboys, who eventually just showed out for the Cowboys. So I'm excited to see what he does next year. But yeah, the guy came right and said, hey, you already got your black and your gray on, so hey, ha ha ha. So everybody's suggesting like, hey, Antonio Brown probably going to the Raiders. So I mean, I think it'll be a good fit for him. But yeah, I mean, like I said.
Okay, Juice Tribe. So actually, as I was finishing up this video and I was getting ready to say goodnight to y'all, or good morning to y'all, AB, I just realized, has officially been traded to the Oakland Raiders for a 3rd and 5th round pick. This is big news, people. This is big news, okay? Like I said it in the video at the end, towards the end. I said, you know what? Jon Gruden can handle him. Derek Carr is a good quarterback. Jon Gruden's an offensive genius. So I think it's going to be like a match made in heaven for these Oakland fans or Las Vegas fans, wherever you want to say this team is going next. But yep, breaking news, Antonio Brown has been traded to the Oakland Raiders. He is officially a Raider. No more Ben Roethlisberger drama, no more Mike Tomlin drama, no more Steelers organization drama. Okay, he heads to Oakland and he looks to make this football team who sucked last year better. All right, so I'll say it again. Thank you for tuning into the Sports Juice Tribe Sports Podcast. I will catch you guys on the next episode. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you know what? This is just the first episode of the podcast series that we're going to be starting. I'm going to try to put a video out maybe once a week for the podcast, and I'll have my regular YouTube channel videos coming out once a week. So you can probably expect 2 videos a week from me. This is going to be short podcast. I'm not going to keep it time. I'm not going to keep it super long. We're just going to get straight down to the point. We're going to drink on the juice that you don't see right here, but it's here, I promise. And yeah, this has been another episode, or of the first episode of the Sports Juice Podcast. And I will catch you guys on the next episode. Have a great day. Subscribe to the channel. Be sure to give the Instagram a follow and the Facebook a like. I will have that sitting in the video that you can see. And you guys have a good day and be ready for the next video. So catch you. Yeah.